I am extremely happy to be here. Because I thought I would make it. So I was one of those who got diverted from Dublin because of the storm winds last night. And, when I was still this morning in Edinburgh, I thought that this is it. It's not going to work. So that's why I'm really happy to be here. And of course also for the topic and for the work which has been done by Tim and Eurostat and all the others here. I will start with a few remarks directly on what Tim has said before I start with my own presentation. I take an opportunity because I know that I will forget those things. I know that we will also get back to it at the panel discussion, but there are a few things I'd really like to point out right from the start. First, I think the issue of the IIDP, as Tim has introduced, I think it's also still at the national level. I think it's very much similar to the input-output tables and the international input-output tables. At the national level, you also have issues of confidentiality, of sharing of data, and I think the same kind of model which you would like to have more internationally at the national level, you will have to have that too, that you can share data, that there's no blocking from one agency or not sharing at all. If you put in the right access and infrastructure and so forth, it should be possible there as well. Then the other thing is that I think business registers are really important. They give the frame of all your enterprises, let's put it at that level, enterprises in your economy and globally. And what the Eurogroup register is trying to do could maybe also be done more globally. I think that might also be one of the objectives of getting a structure of companies, and then you would have the big companies, but you would have then at the national level also all of the businesses, all of the enterprises, broken down at least at the level of economic activity, which gives a frame about what the economy looks like. And there's a lot going on business register, and I just wanted to stress the point that I hope that there is support also from this group on making sure that this goes forward. Also, in this respect, if we have few or not that many service categories on exports, well, if you do know which companies are working in the services, in the exporting of services, you already have, through the linking, a much wider view about what this means. If you have a few hundred categories of economic activity and you cross that with 27 service categories, you have a really quite detailed picture already of what the services actually mean and where it is done in your economy. So I think that should also be kept in mind. Then, very last introductory point is the point which might go a little bit undercover, is this explicit coordination by head companies or by a company. We had in the last few weeks, and a number of you, Nadim and Michael Connelly, and so know about this factoryless manufacturers. And this has to do with, so that there could be a bigger company in the US which actually sources everything out except the design and the coordination. And then the question is this still a manufacturer or not? And I think the discussion will go about what is economic ownership of the process. So does it have to be a multinational? Does it have to be control and investment? Or can it just be coordination of the business strategy, about that it is customized, whatever is made for them, and so forth, even if they don't have full control of it. I think that is the discussion which I also want to point out, which plays a role in this. And I mention this because what I learned from following the process of writing the publication by Tim is that you have these academic concepts and the way they think, and then we have the official statisticians. And I think over the last year there was, for me at least, been a bit of conversion about to understand what's happening there, and also I think for Tim, who might have had the same, that he understands, or starts a little bit to understand, how we think as official statisticians, because there are two different worlds. And I'm very glad that this work is going on, because bringing them together think makes it richer from both sides. So that brings me to my presentation, which is fairly short, because whereas Tim has a publication, I have a blank sheet, because we're just starting the work on the trends of the chair on internationalization and economic growth. As you can see, I already started using the terms that Tim has used in his publication, and I think that's also what I want to push for with this particular group. The background. So this is something, and I think, as maybe in many other areas, it's driven by some people who really think that this is important and this needs to be done, and this needs to be done now and not in 10 years. And I think the important people, and I point a few out. The problem, of course, with pointing a few out is that you forget a number of other ones. But I want to at least point out. I think that Pascal Lamy had really a role of challenging what international trade or international trade statistics mean and what they don't show. And I think from there we had, together with the work at OECD, there you got the initiative of doing more on trade and value added. I think Walter was really also important because he was very consistent also supporting this line of work. And I think that helped very much that it is now also being done at the United Nations Statistical Commission, which is the global community of official statisticians, that they now took it on as part of the work program. And I think that Walter has a really should be given a lot of credit for this. Then of course you have World Bank, IDA JETRO, US ITC. We also have this WIOT program. So there are really quite a number of drivers in this whole. Now what I will show is a little bit the angles for which we will work with this Friends of the Chair group, and I'll come to that group in another slide, which will look at policy questions and then look at the statistical needs. Now the policy question, and I took a few of them, but it goes about how much do you actually contribute to the value of a final product. I mean, that's the almost classic question posed by Lamy. And then also how this relates to employment, as we mentioned by Tim, and then the effect on innovation, and also that has been pointed out by Tim. So from the statistical community, we have the report here. I think that's important work being done by Eurostat. We have the OECD WTO initiative on trade and value added. All of it is very recent, right? And there's very much effort being put into this. There is the handbook on global production within the context of ECE, and Michael Connelly of CSO Ireland is the chair of that group. And I think also there it focuses on issues. So that's also, I think, a part of this reply on how to measure internationalization and economic globalization. And then we brought from the UN, but I mean with all a sort of inventory of all the work which has been going on over recent years. We brought this to the Statistical Commission in February of this year, and the Commission then decided that yes, we need to do work on this, and please prepare a concept paper for our next meeting, which is in February of 2014. Yes, 2014, and we would have to have this concept paper ready by about November of this year. It should indicate the scope and content of what we mean with measurement of internationalization and economic globalization. What is part of it and what's maybe not part of it. So how wide is this? And there should also be a bit of an idea of how can we coordinate whatever is going on. And for me, actually, that was one of the concerns I had in the last years, is that I think there are about 30 different working groups on some parts of this field. And I had the idea, or could see that in some groups they were doing one thing, and in the other group they were doing another thing on the same kind of topic. And I think that kind of coordination should also be streamlined. I want also to give an idea here about who is involved with this. So this will be a group of experts which will work on this on a very high pace because it has to be done in about 4 or 5 months. I just indicate here to show that we try to make it geographically a little bit, get input from there, and also from developing countries. And what I also try to do is that this is not only statistical offices, but this is also some banks. There were some ministries in there. Like from Japan, we will have the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, which is more a user, but they have their perspective on it, and they've been doing a lot of work on that. And then, of course, we have the agencies, which I think are almost all represented here. Statistics Canada will lead this work. Now here, this is, of course we haven't done this yet, so whatever I'm saying here is a little bit my idea what we're going to bring in, and then we'll see where we're going to go. I'll try to see if I can conceptualize a little bit what we can do. What I see is as some of the pillars of this concept paper. First, we'll have what these policy questions are, which probably also indicate a little bit about the field we want to talk about. And then the information base, and I will say something about that, what that means. Then integration, and I think one of the issues also which I think is important, and we can see with the group if they agree on that, is the communication. I think what is very much needed and sometimes not done enough is to actually say what is trade and value added, or what does it mean, and what is the linking of all these basic data sets, and how can you use it. And also, in fact, in the communications, in the dissemination, because you can, if you have micro-level data, you can disseminate tons of information. But what do you decide on actually disseminating in relation to the questions you want to answer? So the information base, this is, I wanted to stick with the triangle of statistical infrastructure. This is used at Eurostat, so you have the basic statistics, and Tim has been pointing this out: international trade, investment, commercial presence, which is the foreign affiliates, outsourcing, transfer of intellectual property products. And there can be more. And I think that the can be more thing has to be also sorted out. So what else do we want to include here? And then there should be some kind of accounting framework for common definitions, common classifications, so that these things actually can be integrated if you want to do that. And then there is the whole area of indicators you could derive from this. So what would you like to derive? And trade and value added would be one part of that. So I would see integration as horizontal integration and as vertical integration, as to simplify a little bit how you would do this. So horizontal integration is this micro data linking, where the business register is really a vital part. So if you know, and as an example, so we've been doing a lot of work with Costa Rica. Costa Rica is kind of the model country where a number of us have been working. Why? Because there was a lot of government support from the Ministry of Foreign Trade to do something to know what is the position of Costa Rica in 3 exporting industries, which is electronics, medical devices, and aeronautics. They wanted to know a little bit, well, what is our position? What exactly are we doing? What are we contributing to the value chain? And how could we, in principle, operate in that? So there was, Duke University was doing some more qualitative study on, with some of the first to look more at the parts of what's involved in this global value change for the particular industries. And my office was working with the Statistical Office of Costa Rica to look at integrating the basic data. And we were looking mainly, initially now, at the business register and international trading goods. And we've done some studies, we've integrated it, we've in the process trying to improve quality of business register and so forth. And we see that it is possible, and that there's a lot of information coming out of that. And that also brought me to the fact that, well, there's a lot of information, but how does it still answer your questions, and how will you do this? In the case of Costa Rica, they have a national committee of users and producers of international trade already there. and they will sort out what tables will be important for them to produce in a routine way. Now, then we have the vertical integration of this basic data for input-output tables, the national accounts input-output tables at a national level, and then the international input-output tables. If you put this together, this can be regional, this can be global, and Nadim will say more about that later on. So then one of the things which is not really clear for making this concept paper and see where this measurement of internationalization and economic globalization will go is how does this global value chain analysis and like these concepts which Tim was showing earlier on, how does that fit with how we do official statistics? Still not sure how this exactly fits. One thing I'm looking at it is, well, maybe we can use it for the communication once we have the data and then picture like you have the, I don't know if you have seen those, you can make maps of a particular industry where you have research and development broken down, you have the production and a little bit what Tim has done, and then fit in the official statistics in this picture. Or maybe this map of industries is something you can work with. I mean, it's visual, but maybe it can also be used as a kind of a data source. So I'm not sure where that will go, if it's just communication or if it's also more than that in analysis.